Hi there, and apologies for the nasal tone right away. Been rather under the weather, but couldn't keep myself away from the whiteboard for too long, so here I am. Now, in the last couple of videos, we worked upon certain informal devices in the language, such as phrasal verbs and also common grammatical errors involved in everyday usage. So in this video, I thought we class it up a bit and crank up that academic meter just a notch. So I give you 10 advanced usages that are sure to sprinkle that dash of elegance onto your language. Let's begin. So we start out easy with the expression owing to. Owing to is a more formal or academic replacement for because of. And whenever I say academic, I mean a tad more bookish and a tad more formal. So whenever you wish to replace because of in a sentence with a more formal equivalent, you can go ahead and use owing to. Let's get to some examples right away. We have the first sentence as owing to inclement weather, we decided to stay in. Now, inclement over here, which means unfavorable or unpleasant, is a very popular collocation that goes along with weather. So essentially, what the sentence is trying to say is, because of unfavorable or unpleasant weather, we decided to stay in. And you have the full sentence with owing to as owing to inclement weather, we decided to stay in. Going to the next example, the sentence reads, the cricket match was abandoned owing to rain. Very simply put, the cricket match was abandoned because of rain. And the final example, the sentence reads, he ran up or accumulated huge debts owing to his extravagant lifestyle. Now over here you have a phrasal verb which is ran up. So when you keep borrowing money with more and more to pay back, so you say that you are running up debts, or more formally or academically you say that you are accumulating huge debts. So you have that sentence once again, he ran up or accumulated huge debts because of or owing to his extravagant lifestyle. Extravagant, a bit of vocabulary over here. So extravagant spending, or you live an extravagant lifestyle when you spend rather lavishly and often beyond your means. So this is advanced expression or advanced usage number 1, owing to. Let's move on to usage number 2. Second expression on the list is I dare say, which often in British English is written as I dare say with no space between the words dare and say. And the meaning for the expression is I think probably or I suppose. So whenever you feel that something could be true or possible, then you can express the same with the usage of the expression I dare say. Let's have a look at some examples. The first sentence reads, I dare say it'll rain soon. And that suggests that I think that probably it'll rain soon, or I suppose it'll rain soon. On to the next one, and the sentence is, I'm impressed how well you drive now. I dare say you deserve your own car. Mazel tov. I mean, who doesn't love hearing that? So you have that usage, I dare say you deserve your own car. That goes on to suggest that I think that probably you deserve your own car now, or I think that I suppose it's possible for you to have your own car now. On to the next one, and the sentence reads, I don't mind sharing the news, but I dare say you wouldn't take it too well. So you have that usage, I dare say, or I probably think you wouldn't take it too well. Take it too well goes on to suggest you wouldn't handle it too well by perhaps reacting the wrong amount or the wrong way. And that's expressed as you wouldn't take it too well. On to the last sentence over here, we have, I dare say he's hiding something. And that means that I think that probably, or I have a suspicion that probably he's hiding something, expressed as I dare say he's hiding something. So there you have it. So whenever you have a reason to believe that something could be true or that something could be possible, then I dare say that you can go ahead and use I dare say. So that's expression number 2 on the list. We move on to advanced expression number 3. Third advanced expression on the list is many a. Now, the inclusion of the article a over here does nothing to alter the meaning, but it does affect the grammar. So like I said, that the meaning doesn't change at all. So you have the meaning for many as many or a large number of something. Now, as said previously, that it does affect the grammar. Let's see how that happens. Now, you're well aware that many always follows a plural noun. No mystery there, basics. So you've got many men, many cars, many stars, and so on. However, you're going to ensure that in case of many you follow that up with not a plural, but a singular noun. So this time, the same examples become many a man, many a car, and many a star. However, the meaning remains exactly the same, which was many men, many cars, and many stars. Now, but since you got a singular noun over here, you're going to ensure that any subsequent verbs that you use in the sentence are also suited to the singular noun and not to the plural noun. So that is to say that your have turns into has, your are turns into is, and similarly your were turns into was. This is an elegant usage rather that you often come across in the field of journalism and literature, but never hurts to drop it on and off into any formal context. So let's go ahead with some examples. Starting with the first example, we have many a man has made the same mistake. And this is the exact same as saying many men have made the same mistake. So you see, you've got many a man, and that's followed up with a verb suiting the singular. That's not have, but has, giving you the sentence, many a man has made the same mistake. And it has the exact same meaning as many men have made the same mistake. On to the next one. I've been there many a time, and not the common error many a times. So I've been there many a time is to say I've been there many times. The last one that reads, many a politician has gone back on promises. So to go back on promises is an expression that means to not fulfill the promises. So this sentence, once again, many a politician has gone back on promises, is the exact equivalent of saying many politicians have gone back on promises. So before we wrap up number 3 over here, a few more examples. So many cars are manufactured turns into many a car is manufactured. Many houses are built turns into many a house is built. And finally, many cities were destroyed, heaven forbid, turns into many a city was destroyed. So I hope that clears up many a doubt. So with that, we come to the end of advanced usage number 3, on to number 4. Starting with usage number 4, which is I'd rather. And that's a contraction for I would rather. And this has a meaning very close to I would prefer or I would like. Now, of course, there are many more common usages of rather as well that you already may be acquainted with, such as rather when it means somewhat. For instance, it's rather cold. And that goes on to say that it's somewhat cold. Rather is also used in sentences as a softener when you want to soften the impact of a harsh sentence, such as he's rather silly, instead of being too direct and saying he's silly. And then finally, you also have rather than when it is used as instead of. For example, he is disappointed rather than sad. But we're not dealing with any of those usages right now. We're going for the more rare usage or the rarer usage, which is I'd rather when it stands to mean I would prefer or I would like. And in such a case, the usage formula is as thus, would rather plus subject plus the past tense. You can go ahead and use this formula to express either of the two things. The first one, when you wish to express an imaginary situation and you would want it or wish it to be real. And the second one, when you want to politely stop someone from doing something. Let's take a few examples of each of the two. So starting with the example when we wish for something to come true, let's have a look at the sentence that reads, I'd rather you stayed. And that's the equivalent of I would prefer it if you stayed. So the speaker over here is wishing for somebody to not go and to stay. And you have that expressed as I'd rather you stayed. Let's quickly compare it with the formula that we have over here. So would rather is expressed as a contraction in our sentence as I'd rather. That's followed up by the subject, that's you, and then we follow it up with the past tense. You've got stayed instead of stay, and the sentence, I'd rather you stayed. Now over here, in case you're wondering that why the past tense and why not the present tense, let's address that elephant in the room right away. And the reason behind that is that if the sentence expresses it in the present tense, that goes on to suggest that perhaps the wish is already real. And if the wish is already fulfilled, why would you wish it anyway? So to make things seem a bit more imaginary and unrealistic, the better tense to suit the situation is the past and not the present. On to the next example for wish fulfillment. We have the sentence as I'd rather we had a bigger home. So the speaker over here is wishing for a bigger home, which they don't have already. So they have that as I'd rather we had a bigger home, meaning I'd prefer it if we had a bigger home. On to the second usage, when you are politely asking somebody to stop doing something or to not do something or just to order them to do something. Let's see. So the first sentence reads, I'd rather you didn't smoke, and that's to say that I would prefer it if you didn't smoke. Another one, you can also use the expression on behalf of somebody. It's just that the pronoun will shift from I to that person. For instance, she'd rather you left now, and this goes on to suggest that she would prefer it if you left now. So that's advanced usage number 4, I'd rather. We move on ahead, and to that effect, I'd say that I'd rather you continued watching. On to advanced usage number 5. Fifth on the list is pray. And this is not your usual verb to pray. On the contrary, pray over here is an adverb. It's a formal usage, archaic in nature, and that's to say it's an old-fashioned usage. However, it does come in handy in certain situations even now. And its meaning, quite simply, is please, like please listen. So you would have that as pray, listen. So pray as an adverb is put to 2 distinct uses. Let's get to them right away. So pray is used as a preface to polite requests and instructions. In other words, it's placed just before you are about to, or the speaker is about to give out a polite request or an instruction. Let's get to some examples. So you have the sentence as, ladies and gentlemen, pray be seated. And that's to say, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Or a very short and sweet sentence, pray continue. And that says, please continue. And now on the lighter side, you also use pray for adding sarcastic emphasis to a question. So you are sarcastic when you mean just the reverse of, or rather when you say, my apologies, when you say just the reverse of what you mean in order to, tease or taunt. Let's get to some sentences right away. So like I said, that you use pray in sarcastic questions. So let's think up a situation over here. Let's say the least bright friend in your group thinks of a plan and goes, oh, I've got a plan. And to that you reply sarcastically as, and what, pray, is your plan? And that's to say, and what, if I may ask? So in this case, the meaning of pray shifts ever so slightly from please to if I may ask. And that friend says, and what, pray, is your plan? And what, if I may ask, is your plan? So I hope you can sense that irony in my tone over here. Let's take another one. So somebody at home did something silly, mother got annoyed, and along she came to give you an earful for it. So what does she say? She comes over and says, and what, pray, was the need to do that? And that goes on to say that, and what, if I may ask, was the need to do that? So in such sarcastic questions, what you're going to do is that insert pray midway between the question word and the verb that follows pray, cordoned off by commas on both the sides. So that was the end of part 1 of 10 usages in advanced English. I hope you've liked the effort. We've tried to do something different over here. If you have, please go ahead and give us that precious thumbs up. Till then, I'll be busy working on part 2. Should be up soon. Till then, please continue to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you very soon. Thank you so much for your time.